Welcome to Fact or Freestyle.
We discover hidden secrets of BMX.
And now we're going to find out what's going on.
Let's see how far down this rabbit hole we go.
Bow, 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 ba-da-ba-dum, bow, 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 ba-da-ba-dum, bow. Shop, it's a Shopify store, and I have proper Tibetan incense, not
good.
that knockoff fake Chinese bootleg monk stuff. So I have proper monk junk today.
Good, because
Nice.
last week you expressed the concerns about that, so I'm glad you got that sorted.
And I know Kim loves this.
Yes, purple.
I did upgrade my glass. I don't have a Flatland Fuel, but I do have a Tweety cup, Joe.
I made sure I had a cup for Joe.
Oh, look at that, Kim. Look at, she's so good.
Monica.
Nice.
Monica, how did you get this link? Hey, you guys, I don't know, man. There's something going on here. I think, Joe, you're the tech guy. You got to make sure you protect these links because I think they're getting out in the. Monica, where are you at? You're in Germany or Hungary? Where are you at?
Dubai. Hey.
You're in Dubai. Well, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to see you all. Thank you.
Monica.
See you.
Hola. Oh, Kim. Wow.
So again, Monica didn't know that you, Paula, were going to be on the call, or Kim. So again, we like to kind of give a little bit of surprise, like, oh, fancy meeting you here, fancy bumping into you. So I'm really glad that you could make it work, Monica, because I know it's midnight, so we won't keep you up too late.
No, it's fine. They're
Well-
always up late.
Well, welcome to Factor Freestyle. I think maybe all of you have watched a little bit or you're somewhat familiar, but it's really about having fun, making connections. We always like to, Rob Lowe has been a very inspirational person in this, I think, in this quest. You guys, Joe, do you agree on that? Jim, you think that like Rob is always coming through? So I basically, I went through and I stumbled across this quote that I think that Rob really nailed it. And it goes like this: I alone cannot really change the whole world, but I can skip a stone across the waters to create many ripples. And I think that's kind of the overview that we're holding right now, is like community and building community. And we really wanted to bring some very vital riders that represent the female scene, which we want to embrace and tap into, and I don't know, get any helpful resources from all your insights and knowledge.
Yeah, we're skipping stones one podcast at a time here. It's beautiful.
Exactly.
And
So I think the
thank-
last
thank-
time I
thank y'all
saw
for coming
Joe
through.
was like 2013. I
Wow.
guess I haven't seen you, Dave, in like many years.
Yeah.
I think I saw Jim last, like probably 10 years ago. Kim, I saw you almost before the pandemic, just right before the
Yeah,
pandemic. We
Toronto.
started like getting together more often, and like Monica is the first time I'm like face to face with you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Great.
yeah, connections. Yeah, like it's pretty cool to have Zoom to be able to connect with people that you can't actually physically go to. So
For sure. And all of you have done a lot. And I just think we're really fortunate to have the three of you on, and the timing, it all worked out. Monica was kind of the last minute because I had asked her earlier in the week, and then I thought, okay, maybe I hadn't heard back. But then when she said, absolutely, I'm down. And then I figured out the time and it was like midnight. I go, it's going to be midnight there. She's like, no, of course I can make it happen. So thank you again, all. And Joe, I think you had something that was kind of burning on your mind that I want you to have the time to get it off your chest so that we can move on to the show.
I am going to, so we're going to do This Week in Memes, during which time I am going to apologize to Doug. So I need to tell, I first need to explain precisely how to scope this apology, what it's all about. And to do that, I need to bring up something. So, it started kind of innocently enough with how large Dub's socks were. It just struck me. Stupid stuff. So then it moved on to Dub's seat post, which in this footage, I dramatically shortened. And because it reminded me of when Will Ferrell did that thing with a tiny, 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 tiny phone. But as it went on, I was like, hey, why aren't you like sawing this? And so I made a kit. This one, I revealed the motto of the Pterodome, which is the science of the feeling of disbelief, which I think is spectacular. But I digress. So then I go on to like Seinfeld, and it's like, well, nothing. Like I'm imagining Dub pitching this, nothing to cut. Everyone's making long ones. I'm going to make really small ones. This is product innovation. So then we get into this, and I'm like, well, here's some cut lines, but no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do cut lines. And then I'm like, wait a second. What if I made Dub's socks short? Like, hey, we're making small seat posts.
That one kills me.
Okay, so this is, so I'm like, wait a second, this has legs. This thing has legs. I'm on a roll here. Meanwhile, I'm making sure that everyone's laughing and they're looking at what Dub has, like titanium seat post. Nobody's ever done that before. As is characteristic of me, I issued my own thinnest seat post ever, which was actually a NARP. So then I realized that now I'm advocating to cut down a seat post after having roasted RL for cutting his Haro. So I've admitted that my credibility upon inspection has been eroded. So then this one, I grabbed some stock art. It's like, hey, yeah, he sells saddle rods. Because what ended up happening was along the way, so this, as you note here, this is Show the Original. Dub wrote this initially in French because Dub is in Montreal. And the Facebook translation didn't have a corpus that was domain specific to bike. And so it took seat and post and turned it into saddle and rod. I, of course, concluded or speculated that there was some perhaps big tech nefarious censorship going on here, because post is a verb. It's what we do when we talk. Post is an object in social media. Post also is a prefix indicating afterwards. So there's a lot there. And of course, I am as I am, and figured that I could ascribe some significance to this and play off of it. This one was mostly from Flat Bible. But I was like, wait a second, saddle rod what if saddle rod is a new thing? Of course it's not, but I took it. So then I was like, well, if I go and shop for 2x4s, the 2x4s are different prices for every size. But the saddle rod is not. Saddle rod is the same price. And so this to me appeared like it was a bargain, particularly because it was based on titanium, where you would pay $105 for the short one but they don't charge you more if it's longer. I think this is great because one could make the argument that they did the costing actually on the large one and cut down, and they're making higher margin on the cool short one. Nevertheless, this continues. I latched onto this.
You did? You think you would say maybe you latched a bit, just a little bit, guy? I mean, okay.
A little bit, okay. And this is from Coming to America, and McDowell, not McDonald's, but McDowell is saying, "Hey, I got saddle rods." McDonald's has seat post. I got saddle rods. They're not the same. And of course, this is actually me.
That's
I
my
need more
favorite
saddle
one.
rods.
It's kind of
I-
turning
So what-
around for me. I'm like back on the train.
So Joe, I want to interject in defense of Far East and dub. I have a little bit of a background in metal. You're not going to be able to cut a titanium seat post, even with like an angle grinder with a diamond blade. It would have to be diamond. You can't cut them. That's why they come in different sizes. So
Oh.
it's not just him being weird. It's like a normal person would not ever be able to get anything to cut through it. So they have to come in different sizes.
Yeah, you have to make a new kit also.
Yes. My point, my perspective going through these memes has no credibility because there are very good reasons for all of this. Nevertheless, I cause a stink about it because this is what I do. This one, his name is Alex Rodriguez, otherwise known as A-Rod. His name is Jason Rodriguez, otherwise known as J-Rod. And this is the saddle rod.
Oh, I didn't get that one until
I didn't
now.
either. I didn't get that one either.
This one, I got up. It's been very cold here. I've been working, like I have been doing like 4-hour-long evaluations where I can't stand up. This one, I stood up, I made some tea, it came to mind. It's like, well, maybe I'm a peasant. I clearly in the world of titanium, I am a peasant because it didn't click that you can't cut this stuff because it's titanium. And while I had in my mind that titanium was for weight weenies, there is a very strong property to this metal, which of course, being a smartass, was completely not in my mind.
Hey, Joe, let's be
Yes.
somewhat, let's move it on. I mean, I know that you go really deep.
Okay, you want to go faster. So,
Yeah,
so this
it's great,
this one,
but-
let me explain the connection here. What you probably don't know, Paula will know this. But there is a significance, and I'm going to tell you a story of my friend. I was the brains behind a marketing campaign that was the greatest in BMX history. I had a friend who developed a peg that was indistinguishable from a tree peg. If you put a tree peg next to a Quest BMX Guru stick and you moved it 20 feet away from you, you could not tell the difference. It was incumbent upon me, because I loved my friend at the time, to help him launch this. And I came up with a set of ads known as Guru sticks, where I told the story of how Quest BMX Guru sticks were imbued with an ancient metal alloy that gave them powers and gave powers to the people who rode them. This was known as Gurunium. This was before you knew me, Dave.
Yeah.
This was the funniest, most amazing set of ads in all BMX history.
It was
This
pretty good.
campaign, This campaign culminated in an event known as Guru Jam that I hosted in the Terradome 2. Dub came to that event. And as you see here, Dub launched his brand at that event. My friend, who invented the peg that was indistinguishable from tree, walks past Dub, and Dub had this little clandestine. It looked like he came right out of a Grateful Dead concert, but not in the concert, but like in the parking lot, with a little box with a flap and a magic marker that said Iggy microphone pegs, 20 whatever dollars. My friend walks past Dub and looks at him and says, "You can't sell those here. This is Guru Jam." And Dub walked up to me, and he was looking a little bit long. Dub won the contest. He was looking a little bit long, and I said, "Why the long face?" And he goes, and he told me what happened. And I said, "Dub, let me tell you something. You have done an amazing job. And there is room in this world, in this $6 billion global BMX peg market for you. And I don't give a shit, you sell them. Because I love you, Dub." My love for Dub has not stopped since that point. Dub is in a situation right now. He is arguably one of the greatest riders right now. And he is prevented from leaving his country. Dub takes tremendous care of his body. And Dub does not want. Paula, it's nothing against Canada. Canadians.
Is he in
are
Ottawa right
agreeable.
now? Do you know if he made the convoy?
No, I see. Right. No, so Canadians are known to be agreeable, and sometimes
but he's
that means
Quebecois. Because Quebec
sometimes
hates the
that.
government. They hate the government.
Okay, there you
all
go.
all
And
the
they're
more power
against
to
us.
them, honestly. Like, if Quebec didn't fight for their rights, there wouldn't be a French part of Canada. So I support that.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so Dub is facing a federal government that is mandating everyone get this juice. Dub is like, I'm an athlete, and if this goes sour, it's game over.
So Joe, how do you feel about all this? Are you?
How do I feel about all this?
Yeah,
I made what I believe to be some of the funniest, most belly laughing ads that featured his new product. And Dub interpreted that as an attack. And I am I find it extremely unfortunate, and I am terribly sorry that Dub
Okay, let's move
interpreted
on.
this as a
Okay,
lampooning.
great. So
Because
thank
it
you,
was,
Joe.
I was trying to make him laugh, and I
Also,
apparently,
like, I think Dubs takes
exactly
a lot of
the
heat from a
opposite.
lot of people. Like Dubs just kind of goes out and does good, and then people are like shitting on him. It's not just you, Joe. There's other people too. Like, he sponsors that. I forget his name. The Japanese kid. He's like 10 or 11. He was nominated for like best female award. It's like it's like a boy, a child, right? And so I told Dubs about it. He wasn't too impressed either, so he had to kind of go and set things straight with that. But he takes a lot of heat in Flatland, I think.
And I always take things too far. And this whole time, I thought I was making Dub laugh, and I wasn't.
I think he's laughing a little bit.
He has blocked me.
He's blocked you? You want me to talk to him
blocked me
for
on
you? I can talk to him for you. I'll let him know you've made an apology.
Well, I have issued this apology, and I am trying to speak. I'm trying to do two things. One, I am trying to speak to Dub, who will not speak to me. And I went through Huff Jam or not Huff Jam, but Huff Gate. And so I am aware of what happens, but I'm also speaking to every other person who watched my jokes to be very clear that I am not busting Dub's balls. This is comedy. Dub is worthy of all of our reverence. So y'all motherfuckers, listen. Okay,
Well,
so that's,
I think Dub is a very reasonable person, so I'd like to hear his side of the story.
yes.
We
So
love you,
that's how
Dub.
I'm opening. Yes, we do. We do.
Like for real.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, that's quite the intro, Joe. Do you feel like you got everything off your chest?
Well, so that's the end of my run. And now I invite the audience to rate that apology on the chase system. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the chase system, you judge on 4 categories. You judge difficulty, you judge variety, you judge consistency, and difficulty, originality, consistency. What's the 4th in the chase system?
Execution?
Oh my
Execution, Joe?
gosh.
Difficulty, variety, originality, consistency. There you go.
You guys, I got a call. I'll be right back. It's really important.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So can you guys, Kim, what do you think the variety score should be on that apology?
I would say a 10 on variety.
Yeah, you were all over the place, so really high on variety. The story took 20 minutes to tell, so definitely a 10. That
Was
also
it
might be your
difficult?
longest. It was also, I think, your longest apology so far that I've seen. You know, seen a few of them.
But I'd like to see this go on for a couple of days as well, you know. As there are memes and memes for days, we need to kind of balance that out as well. So I'd like to see this apology extend on.
Yeah, you
It'll be
gotta
a
link
4-part mini-series
it to multiple
for
apologies. long
freemium
sling.
members only.
All right. Great. Well, while Dave is tending to, we prepared. Well, here's how I would explain it to y'all. Well, let me ask you that. You, all 3 of you, have done quite a lot to promote female riders. We've seen an awful lot of it. We like to talk about that. Can you kind of one at a time tell us what drew you to that mission?
I have a really long story about that, so I'll go last.
For me, it's like, it's also just part of living in Canada. There's not a lot of Flatlanders to begin with. And like, I was always the only girl. And I was always hanging out with these guys like all the time. I'm like, it's cool, but it got kind of like, I want to see some girls out there. I want to talk to some girls and relate to some girls. And like, I'd search out on the internet, like scouring the internet, looking for anything I could find. This is like back in like 2003, 2004. Like I'd see pictures of Silver, like riding, and like Aaron Donato, some pictures and videos, but like, it was so limited. Like there was nothing out there. And so like, it's like that old, I think it's Saint Mother Teresa's quote, that to be the change that you want to see in the world. And so then I decided that I was going to make that change and get more girls to ride, or try my best at least.
That's awesome. Monica, what about you? What kind of drew you to that?
Yeah, like I grew up always with the guys, like I was riding with them, and always few girls, really few, just one girls I met in that time, and then also they quit, and I didn't understand like why it's so cool. So I want to show them it's really cool and they can do it. I can do it, they can do it. So, and it takes you to many places. So I try to show that it's not easy, but it's possible to learn a lot of stuff and get in a good community and have fun and progress. And it takes you really everywhere. So it's just fun to show them, and even if they don't know about it, they are like amazed and they want to learn more. So it's cool, and it's very nice to teach.
That's awesome. How do you, can you tell us a little bit about how you teach, you know, who the students are, how that whole thing works?
or just like to try like the basic tricks, or just to feel the bike first, and then they immediately like to do it and want to learn more. So it's easy.
That's excellent. All right, Kim, what has
Okay.
drawn you to this mission of female riders?
So I've got a great factOrFreestyle story about how Women of Freestyle was started. And the story hasn't been told in probably 20 years at this point. So this is a good one. We're gonna throw some people under the bus here. So as you know, I started riding originally in 1994, really hit BMX in 1995. I mean, there were no girls back then. I think Erin Donato would have been the only one. I believe Monica was riding back then, but I didn't hear about Monica's existence for years because, of course, early internet days. So it's pretty much just me. So it's 1999 and I am at the Louisville BS contest. And, you know, that was when Flatland was still in the Olympics, Jesus. Flatland was still in the X Games.
I think she froze. I think the X Games gods.
Yeah, why did she said Olympics, you know, and that's like threw everything off.
They're coming to get you.
Wait, it wasn't the Olympics. It was only the X Games. Oh, there you are.
And I'm caught back up now. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know. I said Olympics and I immediately tried to correct myself. I was foreshadowing the Olympics 20 years later. So it's 1999 BS contest Louisville. We're there riding, just, you know, everybody hanging out that's not like, you know, in the contest. And that's actually when I really got introduced to Flatland, was at that event also. So we're all there hanging out and riding, and this guy comes over with his bike and a girl in tow, and they start holding the bike up. I don't know if you've ever heard this story or not, Paula, but they're holding the bike up and having the girl step into poses on the bike. And so they're like having her stand in positions and the guy's taking photographs of her. I don't really think about anything of it at the time. So jump forward a few months. I'm going to send you a picture, Joe, which you can probably bring up on your screen. So August 1999 issue of Ride magazine comes out, which would have, of course, been, I would have received it in July. And this photo was in the magazine. Are you able to pull it up, Joe? I just sent you on Facebook.
What channel on Facebook? Okay, give me a second.
Your personal.
You got it.
Oh, this is rich. This is rich, Kim. I love it. Like this, you've done your homework.
Oh, this is, well, again, this is why the website was started. So
Okay.
Joe can get it up. If not, I'll just read the caption to you guys.
I don't want to like be too particular with language, but if we could shy away from the, if Joe could get it up, we could keep going. It's just
Yeah, that's true.
Somebody could edit that and it could be just
And
very,
take it out of content, and we're
take it out of context.
we are up to 38 subscribers now, so you
Yeah,
know,
we can't have things out of context on this channel. I understand.
yeah,
It's-
we've got a big
it's-
following.
It's just a sensitive. Okay, go for it.
Okay, so on this caption it
She
says,
said-
for all you guys who think bike riding is for guys only, here's a slap of reality for you. Nicole Foster with a switch-footed caboose in Louisville, Kentucky. This was
Who
a
is
posed
that?
photo. They
Who is
fucking
that?
posed. They posed this photo and ran it in Ride magazine. And the only reason I know it was posed is I was standing here when they took it.
Oh,
Wait a second. Wait
Holy
a
shit.
Told you I'm
Losi.
gonna fucking cursing. I'm sorry.
Rosie.
second. Look who
What?
took that
Rosie.
photo.
Okay, but
Uh-huh.
but stop the presses. Wait, you guys, just
Uh-huh.
hold on. This is getting a little out of control, because
told you I had a
bottom
good one.
line is, Kim, this actually is a good
Reality.
thing.
Reality.
No, but
Reality.
Joe, hold on a second, just a second.
Okay.
This is a
okay.
stone that's been skipped, and it was a beneficial ripple that happened because Kim, continue to the story. What motivated you after you saw this? What did you do?
So I was angry.
Oh, come on, Kim.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we've lost her.
Come on, Kim.
Come back, Kim.
Please come back. Everyone, channel Kim.
We're
Come
gonna
on,
help
Kim.
Kim get through the 5 stages of
Come on,
grief.
Kim.
I'm back.
Yeah. She's in anger. We can't leave her hanging in anger.
Can you guys hear me? Can you see me now?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
It's weird. I can hear you guys still talking when I disconnect, but apparently you guys can't hear me.
Okay.
So I received the magazine in the mail July 1999, and Women of Freestyle was started in August 1999 because of this photo.
Yay.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the first factOrFreestyle. So that's a fact, because again, I saw this happen, and I've never had a chance to ask Losi about why this happened. But a couple, I don't know when, at some point, somebody told me something of the reason of why this happened. And this is a factOrFreestyle. I don't know if this is true or not, but I was
Let's hear it.
told that the reason that they ran this was because they had interviews scheduled with Aaron Donato and she kept sending them up. And this photo was posted in spite of Aaron Donato because she refused to do an interview with them. So that's why they did this.
Whoa.
And so that was in July. And then
Wow.
in, what is this? Then August of 2000, they finally did get Aaron into an interview. And the caption on it says something like, she's super hard to get a hold of. So I don't know if Mark Losey's even around anymore, but it would be really interesting to hear his side of why this happened. And if it was truly somebody in spite of Aaron Donato because she kept ditching their interviews.
So
Wow.
this
Yeah,
is
so because let's see. But yeah, so then finally they did get Aaron in the magazine in August 2000.
Yeah, I remember that photo.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically,
lib-
supposedly it was a, Ride spited Aaron and then I spited Ride by starting a website.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Well, first off, thank you for doing all the due diligence and fact checking. And then second, thank you for creating what you created out of that. And I think that's the beauty of anger in that case, that something that you turned around. I mean, you could have done something maybe that wasn't as proactive. So good on you for that, for sure. And Joe, I kind of think that dovetails into what we were talking about, because like we're in this place, like I said, we're getting some subscribers. I think we're up to 38 and we've only been doing it a little over a year. So we got some momentum and it seems like people enjoy what we're bringing, because it's not a typical interview type of show. Like we're not just asking you, where was your first bike? Where was the first trick you learned? Who's your idol? Like that's all great. And there's plenty of podcasts that do that. But Joe, didn't you have something about like representing and like there's certain
Jim actually said said this
yeah.
very well. His
Jim,
perspective.
what were you saying?
Yeah, just the idea that Flatland as a whole needs a balanced perspective, and we have male writers promoting kind of the male side and the overall side, including females. But I think the best promotion for the women's side of Flatland is to have it come from themselves. And so having y'all on here doing that is another like great step forward, I think. So it's better to come straight from the source, from the writers themselves, which is y'all.
For sure.
Because right now, and Jim actually started with this. I'm trying to adopt the word y'all instead of
You
guys, or instead of folks. So I'm going to try y'all. So
yeah.
like right now, y'all, like this is our problem, is that like we are at risk of being a show about goal-oriented dumb guys. And in order to hedge against that risk, we need an authentic female point of view. I guess what I'm saying is we need to understand, and our audience needs to understand the world of goal-oriented dumb women as well.
Yeah.
Because goal-oriented dumb guys, that we think it's not representative. And so we're hoping that you guys, that y'all can weigh in here.
For sure. Yeah. Let's do this.
Okay. All right. Good. So the other side of this is smart guys and smart gals don't need this show.
Right.
Because we think they're the elites. And so like, look, people go to watch Joe Rogan. They're smart, but they're aimless. And so as an example, they're the ones arguing on Facebook, trying to get other people to change. Or they're posting these smarty pants walls of text to create and then win an argument. Or they're trying to get other people to praise and revere them. So that audience is saturated with podcasts. It's what they call a red ocean.
And we know the common thread here is that as writers of whatever discipline, but let's say specifically Flatland, because we're all in that genre right now in this call, that the Flatland writers go to many lengths to create a single trick that they have thought of in their mind. And it's very goal orientated. And some people might go, why are you 56 years old, Dave, and you're still trying to learn how to spin on your bike in a handstand? Like where's your priorities? Well, as everybody knows on this call, we all feel that way, right? My big goal in life would be that I could do a Gumby in front of 50,000 people when I'm 80. Like that would be the highlight, you know? I don't care about anything else. I want to see a footage of me doing a Gumby when I'm 80 years old in front of a huge crowd. So that's what Joe's point is, that we are definitely catering towards this, special society that's very goal orientated, and some people might think of it a little bit off the rocker.
Well, the other thing about this, I feel, this is just personal opinion, is that we are aware of the areas where we can still grow, which is much different from an elitist perspective of we're at the top. So part of this podcast is to kind of explore those things, including apologies for missteps and avenues where we can improve, and it's like, it's okay to be goal oriented and dumb because it's in the environment of growth and for growth and improvement. So yeah, that's it.
That's good. Okay, so let's do a little roundtable. Welcome, Ray. Nice to see you. I'm glad that you made it.
What's up?
So
look at all these people.
Nice to
Tim,
meet
what's
you,
up?
Trevor.
Hey, what's up, Rick?
You don't have a lizard with you?
No
Kim,
lizards.
No.
Joe, no lizards?
I can go get a lizard. Would you like to see a lizard?
Well,
Yeah.
Dave,
Oh, yeah.
Dave could get one if he pulls his pants down, but we're good. It's not that kind of show. So
Ray,
No, we're good.
again, you just, okay. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Okay, so maybe we could do a little roundtable. Paula, what would be some of your thoughts about this conversation that we're having in I don't know, in your perspective?
The elitism kind of versus the like, I don't know, the locals, or
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble making the distinction. Yes, true. That's yeah. It's strange though, because as like Fies has picked up Flatland, I've kind of been put into elitism. And it's kind of like a struggle because I'm so used to being like home, the home city, the locals, I'm usually like, I go to a jam, the elitists show up and they set up their own jam circle and I'm not in it. I'm riding over here, right? But now it's kind of like starting to mingle for girls now, get to kind of move up. But yeah.
And Kim, what about you? Like, how are you feeling about, I mean, obviously you were propelled to do something when you saw that picture in the magazine, and you go to many events. I mean, I feel like I'm really fortunate because I've run into you in several events recently. But what is your take on this topic?
So, I mean, as far as like girls.
Always.
Kim, we lost you again, by the way.
So we all can say great things about her because she can hear us. So Kim, I just have to say, I always like your energy. You always bring fun. Anybody else want to chime in?
See me
Yeah,
yet?
oh, she's back.
Am I
You're
back?
back.
I heard you, Dave. Thank you. I might try to, I wonder if I could switch the Zoom call to my computer. If we do this again, I'll switch to my computer next time because I'm on my phone. I mean, so with Flatland, I feel like girls are pretty well accepted and like treated better, but like I originally came from like the freestyle side of the house. And if you go back 20 years, we were treated terribly, but there's so few Flatlanders. I've always felt in Flatland, we were always treated better and treated better as equals, just because it's such a small, tiny sporting community that you don't really see what we see on the freestyle side, which can still be pretty rough for girls on the freestyle side.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And what about you, Monica? How is it in Europe? I mean, you're representing, a whole other region. So
An entire continent you're speaking for.
yeah,
Monica.
on behalf of this,
No pressure.
this hemisphere.
What was the question?
I mean, I think just hearing some of your feelings or views on this particular topic, when we're kind of talking about how, well, us as this group is forming factOrFreestyle, we want to have a balance and we want to make sure that we are all ever inclusive, right? And then so you three are on here to kind of represent that other side. And how is it for you? I mean, are you feeling like you have, I just remember when I started writing, there was quite a group of people I could connect with, and it helped me to build. And I think you've all done that on some level, but how is that in your day-to-day writing or life?
Oh, yeah, connection helps a lot with writing. Like Flatland turned more like an individual sport, but I don't really like. It was better in the 80s, 90s. Like we were a group and we were riding together. That's the best. Like just to go and practice alone, that's not that much fun. And like boy and girl, it doesn't matter. It's just
Right.
so
we're all here for the same
we
reason.
need more connections and more space to ride. That's it what we need.
So I have an open question that kind of references all of this. I know in men, it feels so weird to say it like this, but in men's flatland riding, there is, and Joe and Dave, you can probably back me up on this. There is a divide between kind of the cool kids club and the everyman rider. So for a very long time, there's been a split of kind of media coverage and just there's a core group of riders that get disproportionate amounts of attention compared to the much larger base of your everyman rider. Do you feel that's the same in women's riding, or is it more of a community thing where it's all kind of, you're all kind of viewed as kind of equals as a part of a whole, with kind of less separation?
We never met.
We can't afford separation.
Good.
There's like Canada has 2 riders, the US has 6. I mean, there's not enough girls to even create classes, let alone separations.
Yeah, it's so rare to meet another girl to ride. It's like
and also like most female media now is like self-produced, like on Instagram. So there's no one to like, I don't see a lot of like big flatland platforms really showcasing girls except for stuff run by girls. And I'd like to see that change too. So factOrFreestyle's doing it right now.
It's happening right now. And thank you again for everyone on this call that's making this, because this is the ripple that we're starting. So thank you. And yeah, we want to do more. I just had a thought. We'll have a riding session, Joe. We'll actually get people out, and when it's springtime, we'll have everybody back on that, and it can be, you know, male and female, but we're going to make sure that we're embracing, you know, both sides of the sport. Ray, you're kind of quiet today. You doing okay? Because you usually have more to say. Are you feeling all right?
I had one more thing too. That
okay, go
like
ahead.
When you do see women on like a wide platform, it's always like just one girl. It's kind of like the 90s sitcom, you know, we have like a friend of guys, they're like one's the athlete and one's the funny guy and one's like the nerd. And then you have the girl that's special because she's a girl. So sometimes you do just see the same person being like hyped up, but really like there are a lot of girls riding now more than ever. So I would like to see these big platforms putting out like as much girl content as they can, not just the same girl. So I do agree with you guys that way too.
I call it the token girl rider effect, where, you know, every time somebody does something, they want to have the token girl to show that they're representing a girl. But since there's very few girls, they just keep grabbing the same girl over and over.
Right. That's such a good point. That's such a good point.
It's such
Let me ask you this.
It's
really
such
quick.
a dude thing.
Really quick, what does a good sense of what does inclusion look like for female riders in the sport of, you know, freestyle and flatland? And are we there now? Do you feel included, or do you feel like a separate entity trying to get included? I'm just curious. I'm honestly just like, I'd like to know.
Great question.
I have a thought on that. What's that big contest that happened over in Europe? It was the private one. I forget what it's called.
Never Off the Battle.
Yes. So they had this huge contest. It was like so hyped up. It was so like blazed all over Instagram and like all the social media platform. Everyone knew about it. Everyone was partying, but it was just a dude party again. Like it would have been cool to see a female class involved in that, because that would have been like a good sign too for Flatland being inclusive, just to have females being represented all the time, especially on these big, huge events. Like that was a huge event and women were excluded.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
And part of the hard part with inclusion is, you know, there's no sponsorship money for women in both freestyle and in flatland. You know, even talking about ramps and stuff, there's barely anything. So when they do throw events, even if women are allowed to attend, they can't afford to attend. Not that there's much money in flatland in general for anybody, but, you know, people are like, well, why aren't the girls winning the contest? Why aren't they there? Well, there's no help to get them there.
You know, like I've been trying to go to Phi since before the pandemic, and I'm going with the thought in my mind that I could maybe podium and get some money back and like make this worthwhile. Like it is an incentive to go for sure.
It costs
Yeah.
so much. It costs so
Traveling.
much.
And Monica, what were you going to say, Monica?
Yeah, back in the days when I was in Japan, and I've seen a video Miyuki showed me, they had 30 girl riders on a contest. And that
Wow.
was our dream, to make a contest where all the girls can come. I don't know, somehow sponsored, but really they can come. But that's
Yeah.
still a dream.
Yeah. I just have to
And-
check in with Ray again. I'm really concerned, Ray. You can't, well, Joe, Jim, I mean, we've had Ray on. What's going on, Ray?
I get shy around pretty women, so
Oh,
I'm like,
Get
so I'm like, yeah, I do, even though like I'm like far away. I
No.
have a question though. I have a question. Are there any women riders that do shows with like any of the like the Rob Nolly type of guys, or like, you know,
Robert
there's
Castillo.
a kid in Jersey, Robert Castillo. Do any of them have any female riders? Because I've seen a bunch of shows, but I've never seen that. And I think if they did, well, the other reason I'm asking is because like there's a lot of kids that I would talk to that, well, they're not kids anymore, but they would go to a show and they would see a certain person ride, and they'd be like, I want to ride like that guy or something. So I can picture like a girl going to like this, you know, you think it's an all guy thing, and if you see a girl going out busting out some tricks, that girl's going to be like, I want to do that too. So I'm wondering if that ever happens.
So
I would like
Carl,
to do that too.
Carl Hinckley, his daughter, rides in their stunt shows with Nowhere BMX. So that's like a really cool one to see when she gets out there. And there was one other girl who was doing stunt shows in the northeastern US. I cannot think of her name right now, but those are the only two I've ever heard of that are like doing stunt shows.
Didn't
Okay.
Kendall do a couple shows?
Yes, Kendall in Colorado, good one. Yeah, that's right. She's definitely doing shows with, I think, Brian Yellow.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's perfect. That's great.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought that was so awesome.
And she made it to One Love this year for the first time, which is another great thing, because she's just doing bar rides all the way across the parking lot, and it was wonderful. So, cool.
Yeah, she showed out in Battle in the Rockies as well, of course. Yeah, she's so good.
I love
Super
her.
dialed.
And
Super
super
dialed
show
rider.
rider. Super show rider for sure.
The Gail Webb was doing shows since the 80s. I mean, she was not riding, but making the shows. That's something very special also.
And as far as contests that Factor Freestyle have done and will do, we're just doing an open class. So maybe we need to just make that clear and have some of you as a representation of your, your group, to make sure that they know. I mean, like, I don't know if you saw the one that we did well, I know Kim, you did, at the Nowhere Flat. That was amazing, because we were trying to cross over. We're saying, that you have unexpected circumstances, kind of level the playing field. And it doesn't matter what kind of rider you are, if you're, flatland specialist or a park. And Joe and I had, we just came up with this idea, and it went over great. And we'll do another one this year. So if you
I already have an entry planned for next year.
great, perfect.
So let me ask you about this. Open class versus women's class. Help me think rightly about that topic. I'm all
Great
ears.
question. Yeah.
How do you think about that?
I have a total opinion on that. I can go. So there's two ways to look at it. So sometimes we do have a separate women's class, but sometimes it feels like a joke, because then you're putting two people into a class. And then sometimes it's like me versus Kendra, which is not even a contest. It's just ridiculousness. So, or me versus Paula would also be ridiculousness. So it's really hard to say that it makes sense to put the girls into a class sometimes. Our dream is to have a class. Our dream is to have enough. But I feel like sometimes when they just try to force a class just to say there's a girls' class, it makes it worse, because you're putting people that aren't even in the same skill level together.
Yeah, there are a lot of differences. Like they put also beginners with expert riders and experienced riders. Makes no sense.
Yeah, and that's why we're kind of trying to be very creative, and we're open to ideas. So any kind of ideas about contests, like we've had one where we're doing a sneaky touch, where actually Jim had the best example of sneaky touch that he sent me yesterday. and it was beautifully executed. It was like his foot just barely grazed behind the tire, but it was a touch, and you would get judged on that. So it's like bringing these other elements into play to, you know, level the playing field, and then hopefully more people, whether it's from the female class or from a different, you know, even type of riding. Again,
So
Ray,
which one of you did that? So which one of you did that contest? Paula, was that your contest recently? The women's video contest?
Flat Queens. The
Flat
Flat
Queens,
Queens contest.
yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, tell us
Irina
how
and
you did it.
myself. Yeah.
All right. So tell me how you did it, because I think you had, so when I was doing Scuffington Post, I like the young, like very young Japanese girls were sending me stuff, and they were all in Scuff Gang, and I was so stoked on them. How did you do the age difference in Flat Queens? Talk to me about that.
I think it was 13 or 14, the cutoff age.
Mhm. All right, cool.
But I did notice,
It really
Paul,
is
there
as
was,
simple.
but there was one younger girl that was in one of the older classes, Paul. So did they just pick what class they wanted?
Between new generation and like amateur, yeah, we just let people generally pick what they wanted. Some girls try to go into amateur, and we encourage them more to go into pro. But there are a lot of like the younger generation is like, they're progressing so fast. They're almost at like a higher level, riding for less years, and these people who have been riding for a lot of years, because the styles are so different. And so that was another reason for the new gen class, is just because you have like so many of the new gen classes are coming from these schools, and so they have very similar skill sets as well. And so to judge that against like a totally different style was something else too. So we just kind of, yeah, the new gen is just, that's just the way we decided to do it, I guess. We didn't talk too much about stuff. It was kind of strange the way me and Irina operated. Like, I feel like she's like my European twin. Like, we were always on the same page. We were reading each other's thoughts. And so like, we just said, you want to do this? Yeah, I want to do that. And then we kind of maybe said a couple things about it and then moved on, because we just worked so well together. Things just made sense and we moved on, I guess.
Yeah, I invited her, and
That's
she has
awesome.
a birthday party for her brother tonight, so she couldn't make it, but we will have her on again, because I thought that she would be another great voice to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys doing another contest?
Yeah,
Sorry, who did I cut off? I'm sorry.
no, that's fine. No, when's the next contest? Yeah.
We're just in the planning stages right now. I'm trying to think of sponsors, so I don't want to keep hitting up the same people every year for this contest. So I'm just trying to brainstorm about sponsors right now, because that's really like the base of your contest. You got to have something to offer in a contest. So we want to get
Sure.
sponsorship.
Ask for what you want right now.
I don't even know. Anything really, like, please help us. You know, if you want to support girls and see the girls scene grow, then, you know, help sponsor Flat Queens. Send me a DM, or Irina, or Flat Queens. Let us know if you want to sponsor the contest, and we'd love to work with you.
So like a purse.
Do you need a
so money
social? Do you need a social media coordinator?
Are you offering?
I know a guy. Yeah.
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 I'll
If
talk to
if you need hype and silliness to get attention, 100%.
Okay,
100%. I'll do all that.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I obviously will promote it, but I also could talk to Fred at Reclamation Bikes, because he's all about supporting.
They've always been very supportive of my riding. They always make an effort to let me know that they appreciate like me and girls in general riding. So that'd be a really good sponsor for Flat Queens, I think. For sure.
And just specifically asked, like, this is what we'd like. We would like Fred to fly somebody out. You know, maybe you want a particular rider to come out, or we really are trying to get some prize money. Is there some money available? You know, it doesn't hurt to ask, and I definitely can help to facilitate that.
I would love a
So
cash
David-
prize. I think that is like the pinnacle of a contest, to have a cash prize. So if we could get a cash prize for Flat Queens for the girls, that would be just like the ultimate ask for me.
Yeah.
Hey,
and-
Paula, here's what Dave, like, if you ask Dave Norrie for one thing, ask Dave for access to his Rolodex, and the world will open up to you.
Oh man.
And just a little plug here. I am wearing my Reclamation shirt. I think Joe and I decided I'm going to be wearing this shirt, you know, until eternity. I think I'll have to be buried in this shirt at this point. And I'm okay with selling
Actually,
this.
Dave is being humble. I suggested that Dave get a neck tattoo.
Oh no, you were going to say
Reclamation.
under the
Job
lip.
killer.
No, you were saying under the lip.
Under the lip.
Reclamation
Sorry.
bikes. Hey, Ray, I still am worried
Yes.
about you. What the heck are you doing? He usually comes on this call and like just
I know.
interrupts
I
in
gotta-
a
The best.
gracious way, but your story, I mean, I'm missing you. Joe, do you feel this? Or am I just-
Monica, I sent Ray your Instagram, and I think he's like,
oh, he's
he's
starstruck.
stoked. He's
He's
watching all
starstruck.
these
I'm
videos. is what
starstruck,
he's
yeah.
doing.
Yeah, no, I have to. I think I have to talk to mostly. I think Joe. Maybe later. I gotta
No,
nothing bad. No, it's nothing bad. It's nothing
you
bad.
talk
It's
about
not-
it on the
it's nothing
show.
bad.
We can get anything that's on the show, and I should just tell this to Kim and Paul and Monica.
Yeah,
You always have the option to say, look, I said something that I didn't feel comfortable. Could you
I
edit
can-
it out?
yeah. I could. Well, I can save it for later. You know, I mean, like some other
No,
time.
we always
maybe. Or,
say it now. This is the moment. Here we are. What do you have to say?
We are literally all friends.
Wait, do you have a safe word?
God.
Do you have a safe word? What's your safe word?
Yeah, what's your- Wait, we know what your safe
I
word
have
is.
no
Tippy
idea
toe
where this
lemon
is going.
tree.
It's lemon trees, right?
tippy
Tippy
toe
toe
lemon
lemon-
tree for
Tippy
Christ's
toe
sake.
lemon trees.
If there was ever a time when I had to use tippy toe lemon tree, it's right now. But it
Okay.
I almost think that because of that is why I'm in my situation. Maybe the stupider I get, the less. This is the less I give. This is the opposite. The less I give, the more I get, and that's been happening for the past 35 years. The less I'm interested in something, the more I get of something, and like meaning like good stuff.
Okay.
So I'm in a spot right now where I'm almost like I don't know what to do. I'm like shaking because it's just too weird.
I know. I can tell something's going on. What is it? Is it a personal thing? Is it?
No, it's not. It's not personal at all. That's why it's so bad. It's so out in the open. It's
You're killing me.
and-
I'm just at suspense. Okay, just tell us. Just say one thing about it, and then we can put it to rest.
oh, I'm looking for
Amazing.
I'm looking for somebody to blame, and I don't know who to blame. I'd like to blame Joe because he seems he's got the broadest shoulders, where he either won't care or he'll be furious because I already got one person kind of upset, but it's nothing that I did. So
So
we'll just
I-
wait.
I can issue an apology. I have
It's-
world
This better
class
not be saddle
apologies.
rod again.
No, there's
Is
no
it saddle
apology.
rod?
No, it's like a year ago, I like these when you guys do like factOrFreestyle, and I started doing stuff with Joe Gertola's brother Mike,
Oh yeah.
and so I started doing podcasts and just talking and just talking about nothing. Like I don't have any education or skill or blah 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 for any of the like doing a show and producing a show and getting people to do a show, but you know, if you put me in line at McDonald's and something's going on, I can find the humor in it. And so and I can take it to like the next level, and it's like, and I do it without even knowing that I'm doing it. And so the person that somebody contacted me, and as soon as I saw who it was, I thought it was fake. And then so I'm not really sure, like I mean, like the stuff that I'm like, if I talk about it now, we can't, like you can't put a clip of me talking right now on anything.
Really?
Yeah.
It's that big of a deal? Are you talking about money for are you, because you know we're not
Well,
paying anybody on this show.
No,
right?
oh no, I know, but I basically got a job doing nothing,
Oh my.
like, and it's doing a podcast, but it's like
Let me make sure that I get this. Let me make sure that I understand this. You are telling me that, Ray, you were pitched a job You
Yeah.
took a job, and now you are going to be the greatest podcast personality of all time.
No, but
Second greatest podcast celebrity of all time.
that's what oh man.
Well, what can you tell us?
And you can't even tell us about it. It's like you got a
Well,
Netflix deal and you're telling it all. You got a phone call from Hollywood.
It's not even Hollywood. It's worse than Hollywood. It's worse than
you got
put it this way.
Call from
I got a call from somebody I know really well that never calls me. And this person was so big that he didn't even call me. Other people called me. And they're like, okay, like they're setting
called you.
And they're setting it up like I'm like, you do understand that, like, I'll just say, I'm like, Spike and I have known each other since we were little kids. I'm like, can I just talk to him? And they're like, oh, Spike it's more a Jeff Tremaine thing.
Spike? Did you say Spike? Oh my gosh, Joe.
Somebody that works with Spike has like 6 producer people. Like just people, like when he was getting us tickets for the Beastie Boys thing, he just goes, send me, like, I'll give your email to so-and-so, and then 2 different people talk to you to get you into the show, and then they're like, then they email you back and go, Spike's coming out in 3 minutes.
Oh
like to say hi to you guys. So it's stupid.
You know that we've been getting comments on our channel.
That's what it was. People say Ray needs his own podcast, and they investigated it because one of the people listened in depth to the Liberty Bell thing, and they were like blown away. And so Jeff Tremaine listened to that and said, well, Ray would be perfect for the thing we're doing. And then
can you share? Oh my gosh, Joe, dreams actually come. We're making dreams happen.
This is the
That's so
best
epic
outcome ever.
I'm sorry, ladies, we're thrilled with this news, but can you tell, what else can you tell us?
That I already did one, and it's ridiculous.
I imagine.
I am so happy for you.
Well, I'm glad. I thought you were gonna be mad.
I am so happy for you.
The more I don't know people, the funnier it is. And so I don't follow any pop culture. Like, I don't watch a lot of TV. Like, I'll watch stuff. I have horrible ADD, so it's like I'll put something on and just turn it off immediately. And but if I see something and start talking to somebody, if I start talking to like a 22-year-old dude about something, it'll just wind up being funny. So they within like no time, they were just like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, and it was just like a Zoom call. And it was like just talking to these 2 people. Both the people that were on it, I recognized and like know who they are, but I talked to these people like we did, like just talking like we talk for almost 4 hours, and they were peeing their pants laughing because the one guy was the singer dude that has all the stuff on his face.
Oh, okay.
From Texas or something.
Post Malone?
Like Post Malone.
Post Malone?
I was gonna say Moses Malone. Yeah,
fuck.
Post Malone.
What?
Well,
what?
It was him. It was him and a girl. It was an actor. This chick, you've seen her in a billion things, and she was on the
sardonic one. The really like
the girl that was on the '70s show.
Oh, Mila Kunis.
Oh, Mila Kunis.
Yeah, she's from Russia.
What?
Yes.
And so I talked to those 2 for, I think it was 3 hours and 50 minutes, and they did nothing but pee their pants. And it started off with the Malone guy, without even like, the first thing I did, I said, I said, where's the other guy? And he's like, what other guy? I'm like, the other dude, like the other kid that does it with you. And he's like, I'm a solo artist. And I said, aren't you the dude, like you and your brother sing the I'm a Island Boy guy? And,
Oh, fuck. No.
and then the girl,
Oh my
Shut
God.
up. That shit
that's
is so funny.
that 70s show girl, almost, they couldn't find her because she fell off her chair. And there was like a 15-minute break the first 3 minutes because it disrupted everything. And then they're like, this is bullshit. They go, this is why Spike's a genius. Spike has nothing to do with it. Spike never called me. And the guy,
You're the guy behind the guy behind the guy. They're like, Spike, it's all this shit has ever been Ray.
What is happening?
Fucking Island Boy.
So Ray, why the long face? Like, why? I mean,
because I can't. I had a thing set up with Mike Rottola and I can't do it. It's on.
You
Spot,
have to quit the show, is what you're telling us.
It's on Spotify.
but you know what?
This is Ray having to resign from Factor
This is Ray's
Freestyle.
resigning.
This is the best shit ever.
I've worked at the same place since 1988, and I've never had to resign from a position. And this is it.
You're thinking about resigning from your job? Or it's just Factor
he's
Freestyle?
resigning from this show.
Resigning from here.
Ray has to quit from this show because he's got another deal with fucking the Jackass guys. because he called Post Malone an Island Boy.
What are they calling the show? What's the show called?
If I tell you what they're calling the show, that's when Joe's gonna lose his stuff.
Joe,
almost.
Wait, Joe. Can you make sure to cut this out if he tells us
too
the
loud.
It's when they said it to me 3 times, and I said, "But that's the show that I do with Nori and Sisman." They're like, "No, with blah blah blah."
Tell
and the show,
me
it's
the name of the show that you're on.
Oh, Ray, it's okay. You have a safe word.
Shh. Quiet, Dave.
Sorry.
Tippy Toe Lemon Tree.
What first, Ray? Do you have an NDA?
It's
like I don't want to encourage you to.
What's IDA?
NDA,
Non-disclosure agreement.
Are you legally bound from saying the name, basically?
Well, you can't play what we're talking today. Like, we can't record it.
Oh, okay.
You can't show it.
At what point? Even like the
all of it.
Fine.
All of it.
Okay,
Fine.
that's
Fine.
It's
It's
done.
called, because we tell stories, like, and they tell stories, and it's called Fact and Fables.
Oh.
No! This is the fucking best.
They
Dave!
stole.
Fact or
Keep
fables?
going. Keep going. Dave,
Fact or fables with
done
Ray?
it. We've done it.
Yeah.
We
it's-
did it. We did it. We made the seed. This is the best shit ever.
Or it's Fact Two Fables. Like, they start telling stories,
Oh.
and then, like, how stories become fables. You know, like the Malone guy was just talking some stuff, like how he went from one thing to whatever, and like this thing became a big story. And the Russian chick was like, she had a story, like all this stuff, but now all these things that happened in her life that were the truth or the facts are now these. Well, was she from Russia? Did they come over on a dirigible, or did they come over on a boat, or did they just drive to the port and then get to the airport, go to the airport? Well, it's just like, it started out like that's how they explained it to me. But then as soon as I did the whole, like, the first line was like, "Where's your brother?" And when I hit the "Where's your brother, Island Boy" thing, everything just got thrown out the door.
Oh my gosh!
Ray,
Congratulations.
did they use factOrFreestyle as a template for this show?
Sounds
I
like
would-
it.
I would think so, but you know what, Joe,
The
you've been
most
had.
beautiful thing.
Joe, you've been had. We're fucking with you. Dave put me up to it. Dave put me up to it last night.
Oh
Dave
man.
put me up to it. Look how mad he is now. I'm sorry, Joe. Dave put me up to it. Now I feel even worse.
But Ray, I'm laughing now. You got.
Yeah, I did get
Oh.
you to laugh. But look at Joe now. Joe's gonna go.
I was texting my girlfriend all of this. I says, hey, the guys from Jackass watched our show with Large Ray, and Large Ray recruited to do a show with Jackass with Post Malone and Mila Kunis, and they're calling it Fact to Fable. They took factOrFreestyle and tweaked it. This is so awesome. Wait, they pranked me. It's not real.
The thing is, I was so scared about this. I was telling my wife about it today. I was explaining this to her at like 2:00, and my wife just had this like plain look on her face, and I'm like, you don't get it, do you? And she goes, oh no, I get it. She goes, but you don't understand. She goes, something like that could definitely happen to you.
Exactly.
So she goes, he's probably going to believe you. And I'm like, no, but we have to tell him like right after it that it's fake. And she goes, well, he's going to believe you. And then he did.
Well, and the thing, Joe, just
Oh.
first off,
I
Joe, I'm
wanted
sorry.
to believe that.
Joe, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone on this call. for-
Never apologize for that
Okay.
prank.
Dave,
Ever.
how did I
Ever.
do though? Dave and I talked about this for like 20 minutes last night, and it was just he goes, do you want to write any of this down? And I'm like, no, I'll figure it out as I go along. I did pretty
And it
good, didn't
got-
I, Dave?
And it got 10 times better because he brought in Spike. He did, Ray, so my point, what I said to Ray last night is like, you know what's actually going to happen? That this is actually going to happen, Ray. We've already skipped the stone. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
The fact that we just manifested this as a prank is only for humor, entertainment, and for our FactOrFreestyle.
I'll tell you
audience,
this.
and I'm sure they'll support it, but you're going to get a show, and it's okay if you leave FactOrFreestyle because
If anything ever happens like that, I have to bring Joe with me for the sole reason nobody has that type of energy or reaction to anything. You can't
I'm
make
fine with
that
that.
up. Did you hear the saxophone laugh that he did? He's like,
know.
he couldn't do that now if he had to. If you put a gun to Joe's head and said, Joe, make that noise, he wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
People are in hospitals making that noise. What was that?
Oh my
What
God.
was
Can
that?
I don't even know. I have
Can I
never
read you?
that sound has never come from me before.
That's a t-shirt right there. That sound has never come from me before. Oh my God. Dave, you
That was an
outdid yourself on
NBD.
this one. You outdid
Hey.
yourself.
It's just that creative.
Oh.
It's around these creative individuals, and we just go there for the fun of it. And I'm glad that the three, Paula, Kim, and Monica, were
They
there
witnessed it.
to
They witnessed the
participate.
hijinks of
Because
what
it's-
goes on
it's
Factory
I
like
got
a-
roped into. It was emotional. It was a roller coaster.
Oh, good. And I hope you enjoyed the roller coaster because
Did you guys believe it? Did you guys think that it sounded real, right? I'm like, I
Yeah.
could be an actor if I had to be, couldn't I?
I'd say
Gabby-
10-10 for execution.
Yeah.
yeah.
Gabby Reese once told me I was wasting my time doing what I was doing and I should be an actor. And there it was. That was me acting.
But now, like, I don't know you that well, so every time I talk to you, I'm gonna be like, "Is this guy bullshitting me?" Like,
My friends say that all the time. Well, a lot of my friends go, well, there's the real version and there's the Ray version. Which one do you guys want to hear? Usually the Ray version's way better than the real version. But, gotta
I
do what you
just
gotta
feel
do.
glad that it didn't happen, but maybe you gave an idea it will happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a fun show to be on, I'll tell you that. You
Well,
know?
we already have the name. I mean, the name
We
is
do.
perfect.
Yeah, the name is good.
And I do take credit for the name, Joe. I mean, it's just one of these, creative process that you and I get into a lot, Joe. And Ray, like he said, it was like 20 minutes and we just like laid this all out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Joe is actually going to believe it. And he's either going to be really sad or he's going to be so happy for you. He's going to just be jumping out of his skin.
And you know what? I love his reaction, because some people would be mad. And that shows you who Joe really is. He is like, if somebody could use this as a stepping stone and get better and do something that's whatever. And he was not hiding that he was all in. And Joe, I love you for that. That is spectacular.
Yep. You shined well, Joe. You shined well.
I want to hear that noise he made, though. You got to play that back. That was like, he did it, I think, 3 times.
Yeah.
It was definitely twice. It could have been 3.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Look, he's exhausted. He's exhausted.
Yeah.
He's like he just did time travel for the first
He's like
time.
emotionally drained now.
Yeah.
He's like trying to bring everything back. His blood is trying to get circulating again. Okay.
I can't wait to watch this one. This is gonna be great.
So we're gonna
That was
bring it
such a
around
good
full
ride.
circle now, okay?
Yeah. So okay. So here's the thing. So now, Monica and Kim and Paula, you have seen that we are trying to. I wrote it down. We are trying to create a secret society of dumb-oriented goal people, because there is not another podcast that is doing that. We have people doing, right? We have people doing stuff for, like the Joe Rogan, for the smart people, but they're aimless. They're aimless. All these people go out preaching on Facebook. I am trying to get better. Okay? And I am dumb oriented, because I am literally trying to get better at riding a bike. And I have bought a house between 2 farm fields so that I can get better on a bike. I take it very seriously, but it's getting better on a bike. Like, just to be clear, it's getting
Joe,
better on a bike.
Joe, I think this is what was that?
Small
Paul?
child's bike.
Yeah, a small 20.
On a child's bike. With no money, with no prospect of getting an income. That's all I want to do.
Joe, since this could be actually a reality at some point, and we'll be saying goodbye to Ray with love in our hearts. And,
You'll never be saying goodbye to me.
But
it's
it could.
never gonna happen.
So I
It
think
won't.
this is a great time to ask the 3 ladies on the call our questions so that we can help to build our cast.
We need.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's do that.
So we have audition questions.
Yeah.
So Monica, we would like to start with you. The first question: when your tube of toothpaste comes to the end,
What?
do you? Yes, when your toothpaste comes to the end of the tube, do you
When you
work
run
to
out
get
of
the little
toothpaste.
bit out? When you run out, how do you deal with that situation?
Roll it.
You what?
Roll it.
Roll it.
She's a roller.
She happens to have one with her.
Oh, that's great.
Nice.
At least we know she's in her bathroom. Are you sitting on the toilet?
No.
She's on the toilet.
Okay, so here's the next question, Monica. The next question is, when you get a hole in one of your socks, what do you do?
Fix it.
How do you fix it? How do you fix a sock hole?
Stitch it. I can stitch.
Oh, she stitches it.
Darn.
Stitch
They
the
darn
sock
the
hole.
sock.
Darn.
So she mends the sock.
Darn.
And how much longer do you get? Do you get a lot more life out of the sock?
Yeah, sure. Socks are expensive.
Yeah. Okay, and the reason that these questions are very thoughtful, and we put a lot of thought to them, because the way that you answer that helps to formulate basically your character or your personality that could be on this show as a cast member.
It's very hard to get cotton socks nowadays. It's all plastic, so it's a treasure actually.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and then the final question, why don't you deliver it, Joe?
I don't know how to do it. You have to do it.
Okay, the final question for you is, are you okay with personal growth?
You have to grow all the time. Sure.
All right. And that could be in any form, whatever that means for you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Who
Kim,
wants to be next?
Kim, toothpaste.
Joe,
How do you do
Joe.
with the toothpaste?
I did toothpaste. So I'm very like environmentally friendly. So I'm actually switching to chewable toothpaste tablets that come in a cardboard box. So I will never again have to throw away a plastic toothpaste tube.
I love it.
That's what they used to use in Alcatraz. Back in Alcatraz, like in the 30s, they just chew on a tablet. And then, so there you go. She's
Well,
saving the earth.
you still use a brush with it. So you chew the tablet and you mix it with water and it becomes toothpaste. But yeah, it's to get rid of the plastic tubes.
Wow, I never would have guessed that answer. That's amazing. Okay, and how about a sock that has a hole in it? What does that do to your life when you have a holy sock?
Most of the time I'll cut them up for rags. So, like to clean the tires or things like that. So I tried reusing when I can.
Yep.
All right.
And then final question, Dave.
Final question. Are you comfortable with personal growth?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the internet goes out on her again. Whenever there's something very pivotal, the internet hackers.
Yeah. It's like personal
try
growth.
to silence our friend, my friend
Olympics,
Kim.
Yeah, no, like.
Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back.
You are back now.
Yeah, the internet just doesn't want me to speak. But yeah, I mean, I'm got a knee injury right now, but I'm trying really hard to get that healed, and I really want to try to work on BMX this next year and actually get better at competing instead of just being the same cycle I've been in the last 20 years. So, but I need my knee to heal. It's been rough.
Have you talked to Scott Hagness?
Yeah, do you know Scott Hagness? I mean, you know Scott Hagness.
I mean, I know who he is. So Kim, you guys talk about him, but I don't know him.
So here's the thing: just hit him up on Ride Unlimited, Coach.
Yeah.
And tell him what injury, and what he will do is tailor a program to build the muscle around whatever. He's a physical trainer because.
Yeah.
Okay, but seriously, it'll be great.
So we have a local rider, trainer Troy Smith, who's actually a personal trainer. So I've been working with him. So I am doing strength and resistance training right now, twice a week. And we've been trying to get my whole knee strengthened up. The doctor said it's not an injury, it's inflammation. So I have an inflamed fat pad under my kneecap. And the doctor was basically like, well, it's not technically an injury, so there's nothing we can do for it. You just have to get the inflammation to go down. So we're kind of working on the theory that if I can get my knee strengthened, it'll take the pressure off the knee and hopefully help the swelling and inflammation go down. But it's like a weird injury that there's no real fix for per se.
Hey,
Matt Hoffman said that he used CBD for anti-inflammatory. Have you tried that? Does that work?
I have not. My state is not pot friendly. And neither is my job.
No. It's actually not the same. It's actually not the same.
I don't know anything about that stuff. Scott Powell was actually trying to tell me to do the CBD thing too the other day. And I know nothing about that. I don't know where to go to buy it. I know zero. I've never even smoked pot in my life. They took
cannabis and they took the sin out of it, basically.
You can get topical creams too for inflammation, made from CBD as well, I believe. So you don't even have to put it in your body, you just put it on your body.
Yeah.
It's like hemp derived. Yeah, it's not actually from marijuana. It's from the hemp plant that they make paper and stuff out of. That's legal. So,
hey, Monica. Yeah. Monica, didn't Ronnie design the logo for Scott Hagness?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, cool. That's awesome.
She's very shy. Okay.
Okay, well, thanks, Kim. And yeah, I hope that, we're doing Summit 43 and Scott's one of the speakers. So that's another thing that, have you heard about Summit 43 that starts in February? I think she's frozen again.
No, she's just staring you down.
Yeah.
Staring you down. She's had enough of your nonsense.
I know.
She's just look at it. She's doing it great. Look, she hasn't moved. Look at that.
I think.
There she goes. Oh,
there
man.
she goes.
Yay, I'm back. If we do this again, I will try webcam on my computer instead next time.
Yes. Okay. Paula, I know you have your hands full right now, but could you answer the first question? What does Paula do when the toothpaste is about to run out?
So I usually try to get as much out doing the, that kind of motion, because my toothpaste tube doesn't roll very well. It's usually a plastic material. And then when you get to the end, you got to kind of like squish the sides in to get the most out. And then when it's completely empty, you replace it.
Great. So if we were to kind of look at that, you definitely are conscientious of not wasting. I mean, Ray talked about it, and Ray's like, yeah, I get to the point, I push it out, then I just go, gosh, I'm spending all this time. And it's like not even a 10 cents worth of toothpaste, and he just, gives up on it. So you definitely are aware of waste.
Hey,
Yeah.
Paula, like how empty do they get with you? Do they get like?
Want me
Like
to go get
empty,
it right now?
empty,
It's pretty
empty?
empty. I think the normal person would have replaced it like last week, but I'm still like, eh.
You can get a good couple weeks out of nearly empty.
You only need a little bit, Joe. Like, you don't need a lot.
I know. That's the thing is, you could, if you laid it on the way they did in those Aquafresh commercials, you'd put it in your mouth, and like the thing, most of it would fall anyway. So I think they've been doing that to get us to overuse.
Yeah, overuse. Are you an
Hey, Joe.
overuser?
Hey Joe,
Yeah.
how funny would it be if somebody got down to that little bit of toothpaste, and every night when the person got done brushing their teeth, you just got a syringe and put one application of toothpaste in it every night for like
so
6
good.
months, and someone just be like, I can't believe it. There's always a little bit left. This is unbelievable.
It's an
That'd be
everlasting.
great.
It's an everlasting toothpaste.
Yeah.
You're telling all your friends about your toothpaste.
Yeah, I've had the same tube of toothpaste for 19 months.
I mean, this is like
Empty.
expired 2 years ago.
There was a story in a magazine years ago about Dennis McCoy's
Feather
car,
duster. Ah.
his feather duster that has been running on the same tank of gas for like 8 months.
The gas tank had the thing that opens up was dented, and Dennis claims they just kept driving it, and for somehow it just kept running. But Dennis has a lot of stories like that.
Yeah. Okay, Paula. So what about when you run into the unfortunate thing of a hole in your sock? What do you do?
I usually try to repurpose it, give it another use, protecting the china or the glassware, using for cleaning or whatever. Yeah. I try not to throw any kind of textile in the garbage.
That's interesting because Gary Pollock said that he repurposes it. He puts a tennis ball in there, ties a knot, and he uses it as a dog toy, and it gets another whole life out of it.
Hey, Paula, what happens to the other sock? So I get that like the sock with the hole gets repurposed, but there's another sock that now has lost its life partner.
Well, I usually keep it in my drawer, or like, because I always end up having, like, you lose a sock all the time, even when it's good. So you always have like single socks. So I put my single socks in this bin. And then when I cycle through my laundry, I try to match up my socks as I go. But then sometimes I know I have an odd number of socks, so I'll store it. And then later on in life, I'll be doing something and be like, gee, I could use like a small piece of fabric for what I'm doing. I'm like, hey, that sock. And then I'll go grab it.
So these socks, do they all have their own pattern, or are they remixable? Like if that sock loses its life partner, can it go to the rest of the community of your socks and find a new life partner?
I usually have like a 6-pack or something, right? So if I lose one, then I have 11 socks, so that I just keep them all together and cycle them through.
Yep.
So Joe, I didn't tell you this before, but it's funny that I came up with this question about socks and how important. I just realized that it goes back to my childhood. When I was about 5 or 6, I used to come downstairs and I would have mismatched socks on. And my mother, who was a mother of 4 boys, so she had a lot to try to manage with clothing and everything else. And she says, David, what's going on? Like, we just bought you a brand new pack of socks. And she would get, various different patterns and colors. And I'm like, I know, but they were all matched up together. So I mixed them up because I wanted a little bit of variety. And so I drove my mother crazy for years because I always mismatched these socks. So I think there's
And how
definitely
old were
some
you when you did that?
5 or 6, probably 7. I mean, I still do it to this day. I'm just not going to admit it, but
You were very advanced, because it took me until art school, is being 19, to come up with that spectacular idea.
I might
We're at the
adopt
9
that idea because I'm realizing now that might save me like 20 minutes a week by not having to sort socks. Just like throw them in the drawer and go. I think
Yeah.
my girls would be good with that too.
Paula, I'm going to share a story. So here's why I really connected with the sock thing. For years, I was all about the Argyle socks. I'm talking like a decade, and I would collect them. I would go to Goodwill, like thrift stores, and get the most amazing socks. And I developed quite a collection. Sometime around 2011, 2012, I got to peak sock. And I was riding an awful lot because I had just gotten Terradome 2. And the time I had allocated for sock matching was getting squeezed. And the problem then became, it's if you have, let's say, 3 pairs of unique socks, okay, and you're digging through, you just have to match them up. You get them out of the laundry. You have to match them up. There's an algorithm. Take one sock, and did it match? No. Did it match? No. Did it match? Yes. Okay. So I also took this is a problem in discrete mathematics. But my collection of socks had grown. And so it would take me 30 minutes to get all of my socks together. And I concluded this was a great, very deep dysfunction.
Yes.
And the way I solved it was to buy the 6-pack of socks, but I would buy 2 6-packs of socks. I was amazed at what my sock folding life turned into, because it had been decades that I was doing the match.
Yeah.
And all at once I went from 30 minutes, and I would like sometimes not do it. And then I'd be like, oh, I got to get socks. Now I got to dig through. It's a tremendous. Yes. And that's one of the things that I had to fix in my life in order to be able to have more riding time.
Hey, Joe.
That's a moment in my life.
Joe,
Yes.
I think we need to ask Paula that final question.
And what's the last
Yes, go ahead.
question?
Yeah. What's the last question, Dave?
The last question is, Paula, are you prepared for personal growth?
Oh, of course. I'm always trying to grow. It's kind of the point of life. You have to kind of understand your own biases and your own experience, and understand that other people might not feel the way you do or see eye to eye to you, and you have to accept that as well. And that's part of personal growth as well, is let other people have their growth, I guess.
Excellent. So we should probably wrap it up, because I was going to try to keep this down to under 2 hours, and we're at 90 minutes right now. But let's do a quick round table. Joe, do you have something that you haven't said that you need to get off your chest?
Oh, no.
What on earth could I not? I mean, I apologize to Dub for the saddle rod.
Yes.
We talked about how it is our express goal to create a secret society of dumb-oriented goal people so that we can be accessible, and that the Smarty Pants podcast is a red ocean, and we're looking for the blue ocean, talking to an audience that isn't being served. And you guys watched me get like precision targeted with a prank. And so I just want to be really clear. I spend a great deal of time pranking people, and I want to say why I do that. I have developed a phenomenal skill set, and I know that I can use it for great destruction or for great good. And I chose to use this phenomenal skill set to make people laugh. And sometimes they know that I'm going to be a jokester and I have to sneak up on them. And that's the prank. You guys watch me getting targeted by my own prank strategy. And I hope it made you laugh on a level that you did not expect to watch the smartass get smartassed.
I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to see it too.
I need to see it today. You have to do it today.
Yeah, you got to post this today or tomorrow. Okay,
this one is
Jim.
perfect. We can just roll with it.
Jim, words of wisdom from McKay. What do you?
Words of wisdom.
Okay, wait.
Well,
I don't mean to put you on the spot. No, sorry about that. Sorry.
Yeah, I just like to thank everybody for coming over and hanging out with us for an hour and a half, and sharing your thoughts. It's been really cool. That also, Dub, I love you, man. I love your posts. I get it. I know why there's different lengths. I totally get it. Yeah, and Ray, you freaking got him, man. That's all. It's so good. You got me.
Ray is the
I'm
king
screaming,
of all
was it Post Malone?
Well, his storylines are so deep. Okay,
Joe,
Ray.
Joe, one of these days I'm gonna have to tell you a story where I pranked somebody hard, and it was about where I said I was adopted and had a famous father, and this person took it hook, line, and sinker and made a phone call to Kurt Loder while I was making the prank. And then finally one of my friends couldn't take it, and they're like, okay, stop, it's over. He didn't, it's not. So that was a good one. You'll like that one a lot.
Okay.
And that one I made up on the fly. Sorry.
Any final words from Large Ray? Because that was well executed.
I just can't. My last words is just I can't wait for the next one, because these are always fun.
Great.
And I there's something about me when Joe laughs, it's the best. I don't know why. Like I've made numerous people laugh and it's just like whatever, but when Joe laughs, he means it.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. I'm
not a fake laugher.
I'm gonna talk about the saxophone laugh the rest of my life. Whatever that noise was, I will talk about that every time I see you guys. Every time.
I have never heard that.
Okay,
have never
Kim,
heard that come out of me.
Kim, thank you again. What do you have to share?
I went and I grabbed something for Ray since he asked in the beginning. Here's a lizard for Ray.
Yes!
Oh,
Look at that thing.
What is it?
That thing.
This is a gargoyle gecko.
Oh, nice. It's cute.
Look at that. Whoa! Oh no! It went out the window. Look at that thing. Holy cow. That's
great.
Awesome. Its name is Joe.
We can rename it.
Okay, so Kim, we would love to have you back on, and yeah, it's just been really nice hearing your, I know that you said you get a little nervous with interviews, and I just reassured you that it's just us.
Wait a second. Did you really tell him that? Because you did not. Well, if you felt it, it didn't come through.
Dave did an interview with me at Corn Hucket, and I was like freaking out the whole time. Dave experienced me freaking out in an interview.
Wow.
I think
Dave is kind of intimidating. Like when I first started hanging out with Dave, so I'm going to tell this little story because Kim, I think I know where you're going at. The first time I met Dave was at Chad DeGroote's shop, and Dave, I was like, oh my God, this is Dave Norrie. Now I met Lee Musselwhite there as well, and Dave set up to do a Gumby, and James, either James or Chad was like, hey, Joe, why don't you try to learn a Gumby? And I was like, okay, can you teach me how to do a Gumby?
In Chad's
and he
shop.
goes,
We're in the shop too.
And Dave goes, reach around here and grab the tire, but the front brake, like the bolt was going right into my wrist. It was very uncomfortable, but this was Dave Norrie. And he goes, are you even listening? And I was like, man, he seems so nice on TV. I got to really earn this guy's respect. And so I know what it's like to be intimidated by Dave Norrie. And I think Kim has given me the stare down.
Or she
because
feels-
I think she overcame even greater nervousness. But you sounded great on this
Yeah.
call, Kim.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is less stressful because I'm thinking of it as just having a Zoom call with my friends. You know, I know everybody on this call, so it's not as stressful as like, I don't know. It's different, but it's different.
We'll find a stressful situation because then you'll have more personal.
I don't need more stressful situations.
Okay, so Paula, how about you? Thank you again, Paula. So what are some of your final thoughts?
Oh, thanks for inviting me to participate. It's been great to see everyone. I do remember though, the last time I saw Joe was 2018, and same with you, Dave. I saw you 2018. That was Dubs's contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Paula, what did you think of what Dave did during my run?
What did he do?
He came out and spun my tire.
Spun his tire.
Oh, I
my-
didn't remember that.
in a backyard. He spun my bars. Anyway, it's
Yeah.
awesome to finally talk to you again. Every time we
Yeah.
talk, it's like there's like years in between, but it's just like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's the same with like a lot of Flatland friends I have. I hardly ever see anybody anymore, and I'm actually looking forward to getting out this year and hopefully traveling, going to some contests, and like seeing people face to face. So this is kind of like my gentle in this Zoom call back into Flatland society.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay, Monica.
Before we hang up, I have one question. One last thing after you get Monica here.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll end it with you then, Rig. So Monica, thank you again. And I know it's late there. Boy, it's late. Geez.
It is.
Doesn't matter. And do you have an evaluation for us? Like you tested us for the personality?
Yes, these are all personality tests.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have an evaluation for that?
Yes,
Yes.
you scored very high on the personality test.
Hey, Monica, can you quickly share the story about your official marriage to Ronnie in Cologne, Germany? Because that was a good story that, you know, just
Actually, I prepared for it. Did I have something? If you remember?
Oh, yes. They're
They-
$5 bills.
Yeah, Dave made this.
Oh, wow.
This is Ronnie.
Come, Ron. Hello, Ronnie.
Hello. And yeah, we went
Hello.
to Cologne to ask how we can get married in 2019. We parked our BMX down, locked it, and went to the office. And the guy suggested to go to Vegas. That would be easier. And we came down and we had stickers in our spokes from Dave Norrie. I'm like, whoa, wow, nice present. And then Dave came from the corner, and then we met, like, wow, he asked, what are you doing here? And yeah, we asked how to get married. And it's damn difficult. So he said, oh, I will marry you. So he took out his passport. That was the official paper. And yeah, he asked for our favorite number. Then he made out of that these 2 rings. And he went in Miami Hooper position. No, before that, he went to a flower shop to ask for some paper flowers, cut it out in a heart form. And that was my bouquet. So he was in Miami Hooper position, and we walked towards him. And he asked us if we want to, what was that? To infinity roll. And we said yes. And since then we
That
are
is
officially
awesome.
married.
And then you went off on your honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so fun. I love just that spontaneity and how we took the bikes and made the bikes like the aisle that you could walk down the aisle. And I'm in a Miami Hopper and I officiate the marriage, and You got your rings on and everything is official in my book, in my world. So.
Yeah, my wedding dress, I had my Hoffman Bikes Flying Cat t-shirt. It was...
So let me get this straight. You married them?
Yes.
Wow. That is so
So
cool.
great.
How long ago was that?
2019.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dave can do anything.
Thank you.
And
Okay,
actually,
great.
I have a footage from this and also photos, but not with me.
Yeah, send it to Joe. Send it to Joe, okay, Monica, so he can put it in the
I
edit.
don't have it with me. I just saw some like previews in my Lightroom still something, but it's not sharp, so I cannot really share that.
Well, send whatever you have. It doesn't really matter because pictures, it'll be fine. If you, even if it's
But
not
I
the
have
full.
the ring for a reason.
Oh, yes. Okay, Ray, I know you were burned. Thank you, Monica, and that was wonderful. Thank you so much. So what did you have? And then we got to wrap this up.
I found something today in my shed. I was looking for a sled for my son because it snowed here. And I found something that every Flatlander needed back in the day. If you didn't have it, you were in a lot of trouble. It was so, so important. But today they're obsolete and no one has it. Can you guess what it is?
Right?
You had to have this or else you couldn't do your run. And today
Cassette tape. A cassette tape.
Nothing gets past you, dude.
Bingo.
That was it says Raybo 19 over expert. So, and they used to put a sticker on it to show you what side, because people would have the wrong side and it would be like, Joe, this is your mother calling, and then, oh, wait a minute, wait, that's not
Flip
the
the
tape,
tape,
it's the
flip
other
the
side.
tape.
Yeah, so there you go. That was an official
wow.
AFA tape that I probably had in my shirt pocket because I didn't wear a uniform. And they would say, okay, give me your tape, and you give them the tape, and everybody would finish their run and not go back and get their tape. Everybody.
Yeah.
There'd be a stack of tapes at the end of the contest.
Oh,
There'd be like there'd be a box of tapes because people would just forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of known that you just
collector
would-
nerds would be going ballistic to get a
Yeah.
hold of like their.
Can you imagine
riders.
having that box? Because it would always have your name on it. It would have like you'd write
Yeah.
your name and whatever, so they would know. And so, yeah,
This-
that's a piece of history right there.
This one time I sold Dane Beardsley's registration release letter on eBay.
No,
Wow.
Like his
That's
registration
crazy.
form that he signed. I sold a lot of, I listed a lot of them on eBay because I was like, yo, I know these guys. I'm going to monetize my friendship with them. I'm going to monetize my access to them. And I was able to sell Dane Beardsley's for $5.
Okay,
that was
so
almost the saxophone laugh.
I have my final thoughts, and it's from our buddy Rob Lowe. I alone cannot really change the whole world, but I can skip a stone across the waters to create my own ripples. So again, thank you everyone, and let's all make sure we get a big bag of good skipping stones and start doing a lot of skipping or more skipping.
Everything's frozen around here, but we'll do it.
All right, you guys, thank you for an awesome show. You're all so cool.
Thank you.
And
See ya.
look for this one.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye,
Thank you
Kim.
so much.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.